Remember this?
It's not possible for him to be the face of the NBA. Yeah, it's not possible, Selden. Why is it not possible? You can't be the face of the NBA if they can't pronounce your last name.
Oh, and how can we forget this?
Cannot be the face of the league if you cannot be related to.
So it turns out he might be wrong, just a little bit. Last night's game versus the Brooklyn Nets made a lot of people come to the conclusion that there's a possibility that Giannis could be the face of the league. And if you've been around this channel for a while, you would know that I've been hyping up Giannis for the longest time, and I've been saying that I think he's going to be the face of the league, and I've argued that I think he's currently the best player in the NBA. Some people have doubted this, saying that that's just not true and that he can't be the face of the league because we can't pronounce his name, which is not fully true. Last night, Giannis had one of the best performances of the NBA season in an overtime win versus the Brooklyn Nets, and a lot of people had a lot to say about it. In fact, so much so that a lot of people are starting to say he could be the face of the league, even though this is not what the media wants. What's crazy is that if Giannis was to retire today, I'd consider him a Hall of Fame player. And unfortunately, he's so good to the point where he could be an MVP candidate every single year, and you could even argue he deserves to win it. However, because of voter fatigue, something like that's probably not going to happen. But in today's video, we need to talk about Giannis' performance last night and what it can mean for him possibly being the face of the league. Because this has been a topic that we've talked about and I've seen other media people talk about, but most people really haven't said much up until today. Of course, before I get into the content, you guys leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new and notifications on. I'm trying to hit 100K on this channel by the end of the year, and your subscription would be greatly appreciated. Also, I'm going to be streaming live on Twitch tonight, twitch.tv/I'mSpex. I'm going to be doing a reaction of the Suns vs Grizzlies game, and if it goes well, I might do this for the rest of the season. And with all that being said, run that intro. Giannis' performance last night was the best I've seen from him all year, and I think that game from the Bucks as a whole was just something special. Last night, Giannis had 44 and 14 in a comeback win versus the Brooklyn Nets. And I think this game not only proved that Giannis is talented, I think this has to prove that the Milwaukee Bucks as a team are very special. I mean, for fuck's sakes, they're the defending champions, like they just won an NBA title. And I think they barely made the top 5 when it came to preseason odds to win a championship. And you can say that it was a fluke, you can say that it's not going to happen again. However, what are the two teams that made the finals last year? Suns and Bucks. And who are the best teams in their respective conferences? Well, the Suns are easily the best team in the Western Conference, and the Milwaukee Bucks are the best team in the Eastern Conference, and I feel like a lot of people don't say that. Now, what I think is kind of funny about Giannis and what he's been able to do is a lot of people have talked bad about him, saying that, oh, he's very overrated, saying that he couldn't win a championship, and because he can't win a championship, then his legacy isn't going to be as good as we all think it is. Well, Giannis has not only won a championship, but the man has accomplished so much, you would think he had 2 careers. First of all, let's just remember that Giannis is only 26, okay? Second, he was drafted as a young 19-year-old in 2014. It took about until 2017 for him to finally start to improve, and I think he won Most Improved Player of the Year that season. And as every year has gone by, Giannis has improved his game as a player, his physique, and just everything overall about him. And now we are at the point where I think it's time we have to give Giannis his respect. We've set all these standards for other players and we hold Giannis to those standards as well. However, he's broken those standards and he's far past them. Would it be too crazy to say that Giannis could retire as a top 3, if not the greatest big man or player of all time? And I know with Ben Simmons we say, oh, if he had a consistent jump shot, he'd be a top 5 player, and I'm one of those people. However, what happens when Giannis gets a consistent jump shot? Also, I know me talking about Giannis' jump shot is poorly timed because he hit this last night.
Antetokounmpo, Drummond's on him. Step back 3 for the tie. Got it!
Which, by the way, that shot literally sent them into overtime, and I think that was the clutchest moment I've seen in a while. Now, I thought Giannis kind of improved his jump shot. However, it turns out that he's shooting the same from the last couple years, as he's shooting about 30% from the 3. Now, I'm not telling you Giannis has to shoot about 40% from 3. However, if he has like a 35% or at least the league average, I think that's going to certify him as the best player in the NBA. I'm already saying it. I think he is, but I think this would prove to everyone else that he is, because there was an argument, and I believe it was Stephen A. Smith who said this, that, oh, Giannis doesn't have a jump shot, so that makes KD better. And this is no hate to KD whatsoever, because he was one of my favorite players growing up. However, I'm sorry, but I think Giannis is better, at least currently right now. He's like Shaq, but more leaner and can move like a guard. He can play interior defense like a Hakeem Olajuwon, but can also run the perimeter. He's the type of player you try to make in 2K, but they don't have that type of build, so you just say fuck it and you just mess around and you make them. With a player like Kobe Bryant, we've said, oh, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, DeMar DeRozan, they're going to be the next Kobe. And Giannis is one of those players that I really don't think you can compare nor try to replicate. We had people saying that Brandon Ingram was going to be the next Kevin Durant because of his frame, and while I understand that, and he obviously hasn't been the next KD, just about every player we can make a comparison to of someone that plays of their playstyle. But I'm sorry, I don't think anyone compares to Giannis and what he's able to do. Now, in the intro of the video, I said that the NBA media doesn't want Giannis to be the face of the league for so many reasons, and it's kind of baffling to me at this point. I've said before that Giannis is not a toxic person. He's honestly the perfect face for the league in general, and by the way, he has the skills for it, so I think that says something. But you're not gonna get drama out of Giannis. Like, what are you gonna get out of Giannis that's negative? I mean, for fuck's sake, after every post-game conference, he tells a dad joke.
Let's open up with a joke. What do you call a cow on the floor? Anybody know? Ground beef. That's it.
Seriously, you can't hate this. And he stopped my team from winning an NBA championship. What's your excuse? Now in the intro clip when I showed that guy that said that Giannis wasn't relatable and that we didn't know a lot about him, there's a reason for that. And it's not Giannis's fault. It's because the NBA media has not covered Giannis as a player and we don't get segments about him. And when we do, it's only to negatively talk about him and say that he's overrated. I mean, I know it's a joke at this point, but it seems like every other day we got a GOAT debate or talking about LeBron James or talking about his sons or whatever. The motherfucker doesn't even have to play and we need a segment every single day about him. But Giannis doesn't even get as much segments and we don't talk about him. It's not Giannis's fault that he doesn't get talked about. It's not like he doesn't play well or he's not consistently being a top player in the NBA. So that guy saying that he's not relatable and we don't know much about him is because of guys like him who don't like to talk about Giannis in a positive way. I mean, if you're getting all your shit from ESPN, then you're a casual. And it's not even your fault because ESPN has been predominantly known for talking about sports over the past decades. However, now we're at a point where going to ESPN to hear about basketball or Bleach Report is just dumb at this point. As bad as this is gonna sound, you might as well go on NBA Twitter. That's not only toxic and dumb at some points, but there are some logical people on there. Or you go on NBA YouTube because you have many creators who are gonna talk about different teams, different players. You're gonna get everything each and every single day, which is something that me and a lot of other creators on this platform pride ourselves in. Unlike shows like First Take, where all you're gonna hear about is LeBron and all these other dumb things. Giannis doesn't get representation. We don't know a whole lot about him because you don't talk about him. And I understand that these shows have kind of turned into a TMZ, but for sports. But why can't we have a segment where we talk about, is Giannis the best player in the NBA? Can we get a segment where we talk about the Bucks being possible repeating champions? Can we get a segment where we talk about how Giannis is consistently one of the best players in the NBA? I think we need to start doing that because if Giannis is going to be the face of the league, then we need representation from the NBA media, as bad as this is. I don't think we should have people be begging for someone that you could argue is the best player in the NBA, or at least bare minimum a top 3 player, to get some screen time. I'm saying this right now, but I think last night's game just solidifies Giannis as the face of the NBA. A comeback win versus the Brooklyn Nets, doing it on 44 points and 14 rebounds on high efficiency. The playoffs are not that far away, and we're gonna see if the Milwaukee Bucks are gonna make it back to the NBA Finals, and if we get a Suns vs Bucks rematch, what's gonna happen? Because as much of a Suns fan I am, if Giannis wins another NBA title back to back, then the NBA media is gonna lose its fucking shit. And you know what? Who doesn't love some chaos? Because I sure do.